You've probably had to upload photos of your driver's license to a website for one reason or another. I recently interviewed John Baird, CEO at Vouched, and he shares a potentially better and more secure way of proving your identity. Here's a clip.
If we just talk about banks for a second, banks have a regulatory requirement to verify your identity. It's generally referred to as KYC, know your customer. And what that requires is if you've ever gone in and created a bank account, one of the first things they're going to say to you is, hey, I need to look at your ID, right? And they're going to take your ID and generally speaking, they make a photocopy of it, which A, isn't terribly secure. B, I'm not really terribly sure what it accomplishes, but they're legally required to do that, right? So when you transport something like banking, opening that bank account online, or maybe you're applying for a loan online, in each of those cases, they need to verify your identity. And so usually what's going to happen is the normal, you're going to go onto their website or onto their app. You're going to enter probably your email address, your name, your password, probably some additional information about yourself. And then you're going to segue into the vouched process. And Vouched is going to look at your ID. That could be a driver's license, could be a passport, could be something like a permanent resident card, any government issued photo ID. And Vouched is an expert on those, so it studies those very closely. Then it's going to look at your face. It's actually going to ask you to do some very simple movements. And that's a security step to establish that, number one, you're alive, right? Number two, that you are in control of your ID. And all this happens real time. It takes me a minute or so to describe it. The actual process is around 10 seconds total. And at the end of this process, they have now looked at your face, Vouched has looked at your face, studied those movements, studied the ID, extracted all the information out of that ID, your full legal name, your physical address, your date of birth, additional information as well. And now you are a verified individual, and you can continue through to onboarding. Really what this accomplishes for a bank, or maybe it's a healthcare organization, any number of organizations, is it really boosts both their security and their conversion rate, because they're moving more customers through the funnel faster and in a better way.